We now want to tell you about the Keep America Beautiful 2020 National Litter Study. This study was a follow-up to the landmark 2009 study. Leading it is Dr. David Scott, Senior Director of Research, Monitoring, and Evaluation for Keep America Beautiful.
David, good evening.
Good evening.
So first off, the study estimates nearly 50 billion pieces of litter along U.S. roadways and waterways, and that is a lot. But the study also estimates that litter in America along the roads was down 54% since 2009. So did that surprise you from the study? Kind of give us your reaction.
No, I don't think it did surprise us for a couple of different reasons. First off, we approached it entirely scientifically, so the data were what the data were. So we, had it been up or down, we wouldn't have been surprised. But secondly, we weren't surprised because there's been a tremendous amount of efforts being directed towards reducing littering in that time span.
So 50 billion pieces of litter equate to 152 pieces of litter for every U.S. resident. So we actually started the 152 and You campaign. It's been very effective. Tell us more.
Right. Yeah. So 50 billion pieces of litter is an enormous number, perhaps unfathomable to many people. So with by taking it down to that individual level, we reduce the distance between the individual and the problem, and it tells people that they can be part of the solution, regardless of if you think that you're part of the problem. And the truth is, all of us at some point in our lives have littered. But you can be part of the solution. And with 152 in You, it tells you that going out in your neighborhood and taking action can really contribute to the solution.
So with that, personalizing the results is really important from this study. So I think another one is that there are 2,000 pieces of litter per mile. We talk a lot about the aspect of 4 inches or less.
Yeah, one of the things that people don't recognize when they look at the litter that's in their community or in our waterways is the reality is that most litter, nearly 9 pieces out of every 10 pieces of litter, is small in size, under 4 inches. Or less in size. So it's really important to take care of every single piece of the products that you're using on a daily basis and making sure that they get up off the ground, not only if they're small in of themselves, but even if they're bigger, to make sure that they don't degrade or they don't get mowed and turned into small pieces of litter that are really difficult to manage.
Also, one more thing before we go, I do want to mention there is twice as much litter from alcoholic beverage containers as compared to non-alcoholic.
Yeah, I think that speaks to the fact that sometimes what we expect to find on the ground is not, at least from a scientific perspective, is not always what the data shows. So if you go out looking for a particular type of litter, you're going to find it. But when we count it scientifically, what we find is that there are these surprises in there. And in this case, the fact that we find so much alcoholic beverage container litter on the ground is a problem, and one that we know that we need to manage with the types of behaviors that are using when they're finished with a product.
Dr. David Scott, Senior Director of Research, Monitoring, and Evaluation for Keep America Beautiful. We do want to mention that the litter study is available at KAB.org. David, thank you.
Thank you, Abby.